welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. This is week number
8. 9 if you count.
9 if you count 0. Okay.
Count 0.
We got 2 more anyway, don't we?
Yes, we do. Got one more week of region play and maybe a little rivalry football.
Okay. We have some excellent sponsors for this, and you know, it's sponsors that I don't mind bragging about. But before we talk about some of our main sponsors, we have another sponsor that sort of keeps us going.
Well, they're my favorite.
The Dunklin.
The Dunklin Delight, the special. Of course, don't order it that way because you won't get it. But that's what we've nicknamed it, and it is the extravaganza from Domino's. You can't go wrong with anything from Domino's, but the extravaganza. Look forward to it every week.
Well, you know, I think everybody likes it best, but we have some people here that likes thin crust.
Thin crust.
It's good.
It's good, but
it's just not as.
It ain't the same.
It's not as much crust. And I'm a bread
eater. I like bread.
Okay.
Bread and veggies.
Right, but that's one of them. We appreciate that. But also we have Bill Smith, GMC Buick GMC.
You didn't say Pontiac. I'm proud, Coach.
I started to. But they have some fantastic deals on, especially on the 2019s and especially on the 2500 big pickup. And you have to go by there because they have some different categories that people that qualify for certain, incentives, but they have some great deals. But the best part of it, they have some great products. Their vehicles are fantastic. And but anyway, go by and check out, see what kind of deal you might be able to get on something that for Christmas be a great time. All right, but also Target Pest Control, and they do things that you never think about. What are some of those things they do? They do the mold and mildew.
They do the mold and mildew. They do the boat dock.
Boat docks. That was sort of a strange thing to me. But
yeah, and it's not. It doesn't harm the fish. Doesn't harm any of the stuff in the water. Doesn't harm any of the foliage that's in the water. But it does take care of your termite. And
also Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank and Trust. Now they have. I sent a brochure to somebody last week, one of our office partners, but then they had somebody in there today, and I was telling him about it, and people just don't believe that they pay 3% on a checking account on the first $15,000 in your checking account. It's just extremely unusual, but they do, and I have some receipts to show it. So anyway, I appreciate what they do in the community. And, if you'll look around, one of the things I noticed on every field I was at tonight had Bill Smith on it.
Yeah, just about every one of them.
Yep. So
good sponsors of a lot of different things here in Cullman.
Right.
Sports schools, and very proud to have them here.
Anyway, y'all go by some of our sponsors and let them know that we promoted them favorably. So appreciate it if you'd go by and just say you saw them on Beyond the Scoreboard and you thought you'd just come by and see if all the good things they were saying were true.
That's right.
Okay. BTS times, Beyond the Scoreboard air times. Of course, Friday night, 10:30. Then Saturday at 1 p.m. and again at 5 p.m. It's hard to compete with those college games, so we decided we'd do it Sunday at 12 p.m. and again at 2 p.m. But if there's any NFL fans, we do it Wednesday night at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
and again Thursday night at 9 p.m. So, there's no excuse not to be able to pick us up at some time. But we're on Charter, Channel 16. Or you can look at us online at WCQT TV 27 on Facebook and YouTube.
And you can do that at your convenience. So
yes, don't have to pick a time. All right, we're going to go a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk about some of the ball games that we're going on tonight.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers, they're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your cards. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC, third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
First six-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
All right, we're back here with Beyond Scoreboard, and Coach Dunklin's going to give us some scores from tonight's game, and as he's wrapping that up, we're going to talk just a little bit with Coach Scott down at Good Hope.
2A Region 5, Aliceville remains undefeated in region play. As a matter of fact, they will be undefeated in region play at 6-0, and they defeat Summerton Christian 26-0. A little bit of a surprise tonight. I really thought Cold Springs would be probably have the leg up going into that game tonight versus Tarrant. Tarrant with some speed, especially at the quarterback position, and some size up front, able to pull off the win 24-20. Kind of puts things in a shake-up in that particular region, and we'll talk about that later on in the show.
Well, both those are now 3-2, correct?
Both are 3-2, and of course,
Cold Springs has the tougher of the two opponents coming up next week.
Yeah, they've got Sulligent, and of course, Tarrant goes Southeastern next Thursday night for a Thursday night game. So, and Sulligent coming off a bye week, had a little extra time to get ready, be a little bit rested up, and Cold Springs have to play a good ball game next week, and certainly don't want to have to rely on any type of tiebreakers if you don't have to. Southeastern 25, Winston County 16. To kind of wind up region play in that 2A Region 5, got 1 week of region play remaining. 2A Region 7, Addison with a sound win tonight over Tharptown, 37-7. Looks like they're going to wind up being second in that region. Colbert County squeaks by Sheffield tonight, 27-20. Hatton with a win versus Lexington. Of course, Lexington's not a region game. Hatton stepping out of region play tonight, 16-12 over Lexington. Red Bay big winners over Tanner, 50-21. 3A Region 5, which is just kind of been put in a bag and shook up, I think, after tonight. But Fultondale improves to 6-0 in region play as they defeat Hanceville 33-8. Holly Pond with a bye week. JB Pennington gets a win over Vinemont tonight, 27-18. A little bit of a surprise to me.
J.B. Pennington, the last 3 weeks they've been playing fantastic football. They're a young group of kids, and they've just gradually gotten better, and are playing very well right now. Playing very well,
and we saw them last week as well. Upset of the night, I think, is Locust Fork 28, Midfield 8.
Okay. Now, didn't Midfield take it on the chin last week from Fultondale?
Yes, from Fultondale. So may have a little bit of a letdown, a little bit of carryover from last week, but puts Locust Fork back in that playoff picture. Vinemont, we gave you that score earlier, and we'll talk a little bit about region standings here in just a little bit, but kind of puts Vinemont in a precarious spot there with a must-win going into Holly Pond next week, or hosting Holly Pond next week. 4A Region 5, Cordova, big winners over Oak Grove, 41-18. Good Hope all over Curry tonight, 42-6. We'll talk to Coach Scott here in just a little bit, get a little input from him on tonight's game. Fayette County, 27, Haleyville, 13. That brings us to a showdown next week, so who's going to be able to host a playoff game.
All right, now we know who's number 1 in that region. That's Northside.
Going to be Northside.
But now 2 and 3, it will be Fayette County and Good Hope.
One
will
be one.
Order.
Yeah, one will be one or the other, based on next week's game.
So they're playing for a home game in the playoffs.
Home game, and in that region, with the region that they're paired up with, that's pretty big. There's a lot of difference. Not a lot, but a pretty good bit of difference between that number 2 and being able to play at home versus number 3, as opposed to being number 3 playing at somebody else's house who's number 2. Gave you the Haleyville, Fayette County over Haleyville, and then Northside with a bye this week. They're region champions. They will have Curry next week. 4A Region 7 just got thrown all into uproar tonight with things getting thrown in the bag and shook up.
Good uproar.
But it's a good uproar for Fairview. Fairview right now in sole possession of first place in that region. Going into Danville next week, they defeat Danville, undisputed region champions. A loss throws it into a...
And they host Danville. So it'll be at Fairview.
Yes.
And we'll try to get some footage on that one next week.
Yeah, and that'll be a great ball game. Danville's had an outstanding year. And, of course, tonight didn't come out on the good end of things as they fall to John Paul II out of Huntsville, 63-34, who Fairview beat earlier in the season. Priceville falls tonight. That's the other big one in that region. To DAR, 38-13.
And DAR was 1-4 in region play up until tonight.
Up until tonight.
Now they're 2-4.
And Fairview,
so
big winners.
Upset. Yeah.
Big winners tonight. On the road at Randolph, 42-20. We were able to talk to Coach Redding last week a little bit about that ball game, and tough venue to go play in, but Aggies go up there and get a big win and opportunity next week to clinch a region title. North Jackson fall into West Morgan. North Jackson just can't get things going this year, and of course they'll host Randolph next week.
We saw West Morgan last week at Fairview, and offensively they were hard to stop.
They're hard to stop. They got 2 running backs, as you know, that's as good as any
their
we've seen.
Quarterback, he don't look like much, but he's quick, and he threw the ball right on target almost every time he threw the ball last week. So.
And like tonight, they put up 51 points again. I told Coach Redding, I think last week, we've been tracking kind of West Morgan. They put up 35-plus points on just about everybody.
And giving up 38-plus.
Yes, 38-plus. So, but offensively, a juggernaut. 5A Region 7. Corner 35, West Point 7. That improves Corner 3-3 in that region right there. Hayden over Dora 21-6. How about Hamilton over Lawrence County? Lawrence County's played folks tough.
Yes, they have.
Hamilton 17, Lawrence County 16, and that will bring undefeated Jasper in next week, or hosting Hamilton next week. Hosting Hamilton next week. For region championship.
Yep.
Be a winner take all in that particular situation. So Hamilton an opportunity to play for a region championship and in that tough 5A Region 7.
And if Jasper wins, then Hamilton goes into 3-2 along with Russellville. But Hamilton beat Russellville. So they will probably be the number 2 in that. Yeah,
they're going to host a playoff game regardless of next week's outcome. So, sitting in good position right there for that first round. And how about Jasper tonight? Just all over Russellville, 31-0.
That's a little bit of a surprise. Not a surprise in who won, but a surprise in how badly they beat them.
That's 2 weeks in a row
that
Russellville has been shut out. They've given up 48 points and have yet to score in the last 8 quarters. 6A.
This next 6A region, they're through.
They're through. They're done.
Yeah, we can tell you
wrapped
who's
up.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, Muscle Shoals is going to be that number 1 coming out of that region. Perfect
and they
5-0.
killed Athens tonight.
And they just crushed Athens by 4 scores, 49-21. And Athens coming into that game tonight, undefeated as well. And they're both of them looking to clinch a region championship. But Athens has to settle for second, which is still playing a playoff game at home.
At home, right.
3 is Cullman. Pulls off a big win that you got to see tonight.
It was a fantastic ball game. Third quarter was all Hartzell. Cullman led at halftime 3-0. Hartzell scored 10 points in the third quarter. Cullman didn't get a first down. Probably didn't have a yard. Fourth quarter, it was back to all Cullman. They had Sullins made a big run, long run, got him a touchdown. They missed the extra point. So it was 10-9. So with 4 minutes to go, Hartzell threw the ball a couple of times, killed the clock, gave Cullman plenty of time, and Cullman scored with 10 seconds. Scored a touchdown and won 15-10.
15-10.
15
that was our final.
Mm-hmm.
And big rivalry game. And
we're going to show some footage of that in just a couple of minutes here.
And Cullman has bragging rights for a year over that now. You got Decatur 60, Columbia 0. And, that'll wrap it up for that particular region. It wraps it up for our scores, and we'll talk a little bit about region.
See if you can get Coach Scott on that phone.
Okay.
This is a thing that I would do it myself, but I don't know how to dial that phone. So we're working on that right now. And
you better give me them because it's
okay.
We're having all kind of technical difficulties tonight. We had some footage on that game. We couldn't get it to upload.
All right.
So we'll get Coach Scott's number and get him dialed up here.
Unless my phone dies, that could happen. There's his number.
But they're big winners tonight over Curry. And when I arrived there, it was a big homecoming win. It was homecoming tonight. Big crowd, good crowd at James Shabel Stadium.
I have noticed that on all the ball games that we've been to in Cullman County this year, there's been really good crowds.
Good crowds.
Supportive.
Coach, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, congratulations. Homecoming win.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good night.
Sometimes homecoming week can be distracting. Did you have any major distractions this week that you thought?
Yeah, I mean, it's, Dr. Hood and I were talking before the game. It's a great week. It's fun. The kids have a blast. The community loves the team and comes out and supports us, and it's fantastic. It's just there's the little task of actually playing the football game, and so sometimes you can kind of get off track with that. But I thought our guys handled it well, so kudos to them.
They must have. You won pretty well, and I think at halftime it had pretty much been decided, hadn't it?
Yeah, it was 35-0 when I rolled in, and you guys had a big pass play. Coach, I was going to ask you real quick. I'm not going to let you get away with the replay flag that you threw out there.
Yeah, I know.
But I thought it was, hey, I give you 100 for, what's the word, improvisation or improvising?
Yeah.
Kind of, you told the official, hey, I'm going to replay it, and you threw your, I guess, school keys or car keys with the lanyard out there as opposed to the red flag, but you got your replay. I was proud for you and proud of you there, and even though it didn't go your way on the replay, but a unique replay flag.
We've used it a little bit this year, and for some reason at halftime I took the flag out of my pocket and set it on my desk, and when I got there, it wasn't too long until that play come up, and I thought, well, I'll just throw it out there, and I reached in my pocket, didn't have anything, so I thought, well, I guess I got to put something down. So, anyways.
Since you aren't in reach, I thought I might ask, what is the key to getting the replay to go your way?
Yeah.
Well, Coach, big, huge ball game next week. You get to enjoy this and for a little while, but next week, home playoff at stake. Being able to host.
It's going to be a big one.
And I figure Fayette County's probably going to roll in there with a huge crowd, and I know folks at Good Hope going to turn out to support the Raiders. It ought to be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it should be exciting. You know, last year it came down to the last minute. They were number 4 in the state, and we went over there and beat them on senior night. So we really hope that it doesn't get flipped around this time. You know, we're going to try to do what we can this week to get our guys prepared. And Fayette County is a great team, great program, you know, great history. And so I feel like it's going to be a heck of a battle. And like you said, the implications are if you win, you host, and if you lose, you travel. And tonight I know the region we match up with, Aniana beat Anniston in overtime. And both of those teams are very good teams. So it doesn't, I mean, you know, but you want to play at home in the first round. So we're going to do what we can to try to make that happen.
All right, Coach. Good to watch you guys play, and even better to watch you win.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Health-wise, are you in good health going into next week's ball game?
Yes, sir. We actually got a couple of guys back tonight that we haven't had since the Oak Grove game, which really helped. And which they didn't play a tremendous amount because they don't have their legs up under them yet. But I feel like for this point in the season, God's really blessed us with health, and we know that comes from Him. So we're just going to try to do our best this week to get our guys prepared and try to get them in the right places and let them play.
Well, congratulations again, and you know, next week's ball game will be the biggest one of the year so far. I mean, you know, you can go back, but when you get down to the last critical games in the region, that's going to determine who's going to play at home and who's going to play on the road. This is extremely important, so we wish you good luck in it, and we'll be down there watching at least part of it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us tonight. That was Coach Scott. Big win tonight. And, you know, it puts them in great position for next week, and they'll be playing at home against a good Fayette County team. So, could be a good one. Okay. Right now, I think we're going to have a little bit of it. It's either a commercial or we're going to see a little bit of Cullman and Hartselle. And I believe it's going to be Cullman versus Hartselle. This is the second half kickoff. So we're just starting the second half, and it looked really bad right then. I thought the guy might be going to go all the way. But I was looking through a camera lens, and I can't really see what's behind him. But anyway, Hartselle came out. They came out fired up in the start the second half, and offensively and defensively. So, you know, they just had some big plays right there. Is one of their big plays. At number 2 is extremely quick, got good speed. And, you know, the number 12 quarterback also, good athlete. And number 32, big, strong running back. So, you know, they had some athletes out there, and they just carried the ball right down the field starting the third quarter and made it well, it was 3-0 going into halftime. Coming out, second half, Cullman was up 3-0. And then Cullman gets a big stop right here to keep them from getting a touchdown. So then they kick a field goal, wind up tied 3-3. But they'll be doing that in just a little bit. But here's a couple of big stops for Cullman right here. And so anyway, it gave them an opportunity to, and that right there was it was called an incomplete pass. He said his arm was going forward, and I suppose that was probably the correct call. At the time, it really wasn't very well, didn't set well with the Cullman fans, but that's pretty much what happened.
I was looking to see if there was anybody in vicinity that he was throwing to, but couldn't really tell.
No, you couldn't, and it just didn't go very far. So because he was hit right as he was getting rid of it. All right, here's Hartzell's defense looked very good in the third quarter, and they stopped Cullman on I don't think Cullman had a first down in the third quarter, and it really didn't look that good because Hartzell scored. It was up 10-3 going into the fourth quarter. So, they looked to be in trouble, but Cullman got their second win. In fourth quarter, it was pretty much all Cullman. They did a good job stopping Hartzell. And here you see another big play by Hartzell as they're carrying the ball down the field. And had some pretty good protection there, but a little bit of holding, I think, going on. And somehow or other, the official happened to see that. So he came back, penalized them, 10 yards for the holding, but it's one of those situations. Here's Cullman again with the ball still in the third quarter, and that was probably the longest run they had, or longest play they had in the third. Now we're in the fourth quarter, and it started out pretty tough. There's Hartzell throwing the ball down there, and it looked like they might be going to get it down there close enough to score again, but here goes their quarterback, and couple of defenders for Cullman was able to get in there and make a stop, and it's a little bit hard to pick up some of the numbers there. We'll try to pick out some here in a little bit and see if we can give you there. Great play by number 12 quarterback for Hartzell and getting it down there, and then their big fullback carrying the football again, and here they are about to get their touchdown that put them up 10-3. So 10-3, probably 3-4 minutes into the fourth quarter. So I think that drive right there probably awakened Cullman, because here they come. Don't get much on that one, but they are able to carry the ball down the field on this drive. There is Jalen Huey carrying the football.
Yeah, Jalen Huey.
He about 230, so, and here they are again. Hartzell's defense seemed to be, Jaden Sullins had a tough time getting started with them. Big Huey carrying it up the middle again. And so anyway, but they're about to get started. Here is, I guess this was a pass.
I guess they counted hand on top of the ball. So
yeah, I think it was a forward underhand pitch, but he was behind the line of scrimmage, so it was legal. And then here goes Sullins, finally gets loose and puts it in the end zone. But it's 10-9 now. They missed their extra point. So kicking off to Hartzell. And right now is the determining factor in the ball game. Because if they don't get a stop here, they're going to be in trouble. And because time would run out. But they picked it up defensively. And here goes Sullins again, Jaden Sullins on a big run, getting the ball down there. And guess what? Somebody had to get back to the studio.
Somebody had to get back to the studio and miss the end of the game.
So that they could get the play ready to be shown. So anyway, they did carry it on down. I think Doolin scored on about a 1 foot quarterback sneak right at the end with 10 seconds to go. Went for 2, didn't make it, but they were up 15-10. Kicked off to Hartzell. Hartzell ran it back close to midfield, but on the kickoff, Cullman had a 15-yard penalty before the kickoff for celebrating, excessive celebrating. So they had to kick off from their 25. Hartzell ran it back a ways. Then they had a face mask penalty on the last play, so they got to play one more play. It's one of those, if you have a penalty on the last play and the clock can't run out, get one more play. So they had one more play, threw it up on a Hail Mary into the end zone, and Cullman fortunately was able to bat it away. So great ending, a really great ball game. And we'll be back to talk about some of the other action tonight after this message from our sponsors.
We want to go to band, West Point band right now, or
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We're going to have a little band action right now.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We're going to listen to some band first, then we'll go to commercial break.
At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our top priority. Online statements eliminate the risk of your financial information getting lost in the mail. The statement can be viewed online at home or on the go, and you'll receive your statements faster each month. Plus, signing up is easy. At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our priority. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for internet messaging and data may apply.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
Well, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that little footage of the West Point band. This was the 52nd reunion or anniversary, well, whichever way you want to put it, of the West Point Marching Band. They've been going for 52 years. And, I can remember that would have been about my sophomore year in high school. We played West Point. That was their first football team.
Huh.
But anyway, we got a little footage now of the Corner and West Point game. And it was one of those situations where it was just, Corner is a little bit too strong up front. They did a very good job of putting pressure on West Point and stopping the running game. And then West Point did a pretty good job stopping their running game too, but this was opening kickoff. West Point returned it, good kickoff return. And then their quarterback, Cochran, made a great play right there just to be able to throw the ball, but get a 40-yard gain out of it was extremely unusual. And then so they come up here, and if you'll watch the front line right there of Corner, they do a pretty good job of stopping things up. And I think there was a penalty right there that against West Point set them back about 15. And here's Cochran again trying to get out on fourth down. He just wasn't quite able to get the ball off. And so Corner took over right there. And got a pass interference call right there. It was a little upsetting to the home crowd. But anyway, Corner was able to take the ball on down the field. And as I said, West Point did a good job of stopping them many times. And I think this right here might be one of the times that they did stop them for make them punt, but Corner was able to get the ball in the end zone a couple of times here. By the end of the first quarter, they was up 13-0. But anyway, quarterback's got a fair amount of time. West Point's putting some pressure on it. Great play by the quarterback and the receiver over there. A little too far to be able to tell who it was, but and here they come down, and their touchdown will be number 2 running the football. The quarterback just pulling it up and taking it up the middle. That was for a first down right there. He fakes it and then follows the pulling guard up into the end zone. They did a good job with that. Matter of fact, that was their scoring play both times in the first half. Kicked opening extra point right down the middle, but it just happened to miss the next one. But kicking off again to West Point. And West Point has a pretty good return. Well, I think they just returned it to the 20 on this one, but the kid kicked the ball right down around the 2-yard line. So West Point got the ball right there on the 20-yard line and wasn't able to get anything out of it. A little missing communication right there. Quarterback thought he was running out, and he was running out and up. There was a third down play. Cochran again trying to get the ball up the field. And this was a big play for that next touchdown. Good pressure up the middle. They blocked the punt. And after that blocked punt, they're able to put it in the end zone for another touchdown. But, you know, they had a tough time doing it.
Going right there.
Yes, sir. There's the quarterback driving it up through. Again, there's the touchdown play. And he is awful hard to keep out of the end zone on that. So, kicking off, and we had another game we had to get to, so we weren't able to get much of this, but this is a great return by a sophomore running back and then it got a late hit. I think his last name's Washington. But anyways.
Yeah, some injuries.
Run.
Injuries have taken a toll on West Point. I know they've lost Whit Laney and a couple others to some injuries during the course of the season, but you know, still playing hard, still battling. And but Corner comes out the better end of that one tonight, 35-7.
All right, we're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be back with talk a little bit about region standings and unsung heroes in just a few minutes.
GMC Sierra.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers. They're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your card. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
Okay, we're back now. We're going to talk a little bit about some region standings and, you know, what this is going to mean for the local people. Cold Springs is still in it. They've got a chance but they don't have a chance of doing a home game, do they?
It would be difficult because even if Tarrant wins next week, Cold Springs win, got a two-way tie right there. It'd go to Tarrant. Of course, now if Tarrant loses and Cold Springs wins, could change that whole dynamic.
Well, and Cold Springs has to go to Sulligent, which is 7-1 overall, 4-1 in the region.
Yes, it's going to be a tough chore.
Tough chore. And Sulligent was off this week, so tough game. So we support Cold Springs. Maybe they'll be able to pull it off.
I
but
hope they
it'll be a
will.
biggie.
I hope they will. That
All
way
right.
they can host them a playoff
In the
game.
next region, we have Red Bay, who is already
They clinched, yeah.
Yep, they're number one in that region. But at number two, there's a really good chance that it'll be Addison. If they go to Hatton and win next week, but it's at Hatton. And but if they beat Hatton next week, they will be the number two, play at home. And
I believe we can go ahead and give them the nod there, not taking anything away from Hatton, but I think Addison is zeroed in and focused, playing good ball, and should get the win next week. And, if things fall the way they should, then you can look at Colbert County and Sheffield filling those other two slots more than likely.
I was talking to Micah yesterday, the principal out there at Addison, and he said that they were going to get one of their big tackles back, the one that had I think he had a patella tendon type thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was back last week, played a little bit, should have been able to play a little more this week, and then maybe next week he'll be ready to go. So that'll be a big plus for them, getting him back, because he was sort of like, I think he made all honorable mention last year and on All-State. So
wow, that'd be a big addition.
Yes. Okay. In 3A, Region 5, we've got Fultondale is going to win it. And tonight we had an upset, Locust Fork over Midfield. So, there's a chance for Locust Fork to even be a host team on that.
Yeah, Locust Fork, if they win next week at Hanceville, then that'll put them in position to be that number two, and they'll host a playoff game. And that'll put Midfield more than likely at that third spot.
Yeah.
Even if they get a win, because of tonight's ball game, Locust Fork winning that head-to-head.
And then you got J.B. Pennington. Vinemont's going to have to win next week.
Yeah, Vinemont's got to win next week.
And Midfield's just about going to have to beat J.B. Pennington.
They'll have to beat J.B. Pennington, yeah, to be able to give Vinemont the nod at that number 4.
All right. Down in Region 4, Region 5, Class 4A. We've already got a champion, Northside. But we've got Good Hope playing for the opportunity to host.
Either them or Fayette County will host, and the other one will be third and traveling to the number 2.
All right, 4A Region 7, Fairview right now is the leader.
Yeah, it's right now they're the group out front. Now they got a tough chore next week. Got Danville at home. Danville been playing good ball up until tonight, where they gave up a lot of points.
Fairview wins that. They're the number 1 seed in that side. All right, 5A Region 7. West Point is out of it after tonight's loss.
Yep.
They're not going to be.
And how about you and I? This shows our football savviness, Coach. We had Jasper and Russellville playing for all of it, and Hamilton just slipped up in there and played
Hamilton didn't start off so
played
hot,
the spoiler. And they have come in, and so to be them and Jasper next week play and see who's going to be region champion.
Yep. All right. And then we've already gone over regions. Cullman wound up third in their region, so they'll be traveling to
number 2,
the Region 8 number 2 team. Okay. All right. We have a little bit of footage, I think, of some fans around.
Hang on, give me a second.
At West Point, and that was primarily where our camera work was done when we had a chance to focus on some fans. But we appreciate it. And everywhere I go in Cullman County, this used to not be the case, but everywhere I go in Cullman County, there are large crowds.
Oh, good crowds. There's a good crowd at Good Hope, good crowd at Cold Springs, and of course here, great crowd at West Point, and folks out supporting their local schools.
They are. And of course, this is football weather now.
Oh yeah, it's fine football weather.
Fans have a place to go. But, but this is great, and we appreciate their support, especially those that have the positive support. Just keep uplifting, keep working, keep getting better. But we appreciate all of them for being around and being at the games and supporting our county high schools football programs. But while we're talking about that just a little bit, we had West Point, and since we was at West Point, guess what they did? Their girls this week.
And it was a great performance. Of course, I think Lexi Shaddix wound up getting the MVP from West Point in the Cullman County Varsity Girls Volleyball Tournament, and the Lady Warriors beat the Fairview Aggies to win the Cullman County Championship in volleyball this year.
And I think I saw where that was the first time since 1964.
1964. Coach Yearwood was talking about that Saturday when after they had won it. And but just congratulations to the Lady Warriors, but also congratulations to the Lady Aggies for a great showing in the tournament. And I do believe that both those teams will be respective number ones in their area play, and area tournaments coming up soon. And also want to congratulate on the middle school football level. We had a great play-in game last night, Hansville and West Point, and they did not disappoint. The West Point Warriors pull off a win late in that one, coming from behind. They were behind 14-0, and they pull off an 18-14 victory, and they'll face off against the Fairview Aggies middle school football Tuesday night at Fairview at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Well, congratulations both schools and both teams. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with just a brief talk about SEC.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
Six-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our top priority. Online statements eliminate the risk of your financial information getting lost in the mail. The statement can be viewed online at home or on the go, and you'll receive your statements faster each month. Plus, signing up is easy. At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our priority. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for internet messaging and data may apply.
All right, we got 7 SEC games to talk about. And all of those SEC games are against SEC opponents. So no outside people coming in this week. First of all, we'll start with Alabama playing Tennessee in Tuscaloosa.
Tennessee playing good football right now. Worries me a little bit, but it's night game. It's in Tuscaloosa. I'm going with the Tide.
By 30. Okay. All right. Arkansas is hosting Auburn in Fayetteville.
Auburn better be focused. They've had a week to get ready and kind of rest up and, hope they don't get caught looking ahead to LSU next week. Got to take care of business. But I'll take Auburn over LSU.
I think that loss to Florida probably put them on a good level field to get ready for Arkansas. Yes. Knowing that they've got to improve. Don't worry about LSU. Let's worry about Auburn. So I think Auburn's going to go in and take them. All right, we got South Carolina is playing Florida in Columbia.
Will Muschamp got his signature win last week over the Georgia Bulldogs.
They looked good, didn't they?
Looked real good. That was South Carolina you and I thought we'd see earlier on in the season. But
Florida's offense looked good, but their defense didn't look near as good as it did against Auburn.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Florida, though. I don't think South Carolina will win 2 of those in a row.
I'm going to go with you. I think Florida will be able to take them. We got Kentucky coming off of last week's disappointing loss. Is going to be hosting Kentucky. Georgia is hosting Kentucky in Athens.
Georgia by probably 14-20.
I'm going to say Georgia is going to be sort of looking to reestablish themselves. So I'm going to say they win by 28.
Okay.
Then we have LSU is going to Starkville to play Mississippi State.
Mississippi State's been historically a thorn in the side of LSU. But LSU's just too good this year. I believe LSU will beat them.
And Mississippi State didn't look very good against Tennessee
No,
last
they did
week.
not.
Okay. I believe LSU is going to handle that one. Then we got Ole Miss and Texas A&M in Oxford.
Ooh, Texas A&M. Be a close one, but Texas A&M.
Well, Texas A&M, they look good, and then they'll look not so good. Ole Miss did look good one time for about a quarter, but I'm going to go with the Texas A&M also. Last one we got to look at here is Missouri is going to Nashville to play Vandy.
That's the lower tier bowl, I guess. Woo! That's you got to go with Kelly Bryant. And how about those Missouri Tigers?
I think you're right. Missouri will probably take that one, but I think it'll be pretty tight.
I think it'll be pretty close.
All right. Good ball games coming up next week for us. Hope all of you are able to be there next week, and we appreciate the fan support for your local teams. Please continue to support them. Got some big games coming up next week. See y'all next week.